What is up, my friend? Welcome back and thanks for watching. So most of us love Halloween, right? Dressing up as your favorite characters, eating a bunch of candy and going to parties. It's always a good time. But sadly for these people, Halloween ended up becoming the worst day and the last day of their lives. The stories you're about to hear are very true and a reminder to all of us to be very careful and cautious this Halloween. Parents love to take their kids trick-or-treating and watch them enjoy the spoils of candy that they earn from the night, right? But for Timothy O'Brien, this night of trick-or-treating would end up with him consuming the most fatal piece of candy he would ever eat again. It all started as a normal holiday of fun and trick-or-treating on that night in Pasadena, Texas in 1974. 8-year-old Timothy and a few of his neighbor friends went from door to door getting candy, but near the end of the night, 5 children received pixie sticks and then went home to eat their candy. Timothy unloaded his bag and started eating his pixie sticks when all of a sudden he started screaming of stomach pain. He ran to the bathroom vomiting and convulsing, and at that point, Timothy's father Ronald rushed him to the hospital, but the boy would end up passing away on the way there. Authorities would soon find out the pixie sticks Timothy ate was laced with potassium cyanide, and the community he lived in was struck with fear, hoping that their children didn't eat it as well. Luckily, nobody else had consumed it, and over time, as the police investigation progressed, it was discovered that the perpetrator was none other than Timothy's dad himself. Ronald, I guess, was in a tremendous amount of debt, so he secretly murdered his son in an attempt to claim a $100,000 life insurance policy. Ronald was convicted of capital murder, though, and was sentenced to death by lethal injection in 1984, becoming known as the man who killed Halloween. Imagine you send your kid out to have fun for trick-or-treating and it ends up being the most fateful night of their lives. It's crazy, you know, but it's also a great reminder for all of us to be very careful and cautious with the edible items that we receive from strangers. Over the years, Halloween decor has been getting more and more extravagant, but one community would soon have the scare of their lives with the discovery that they made one of the most horrific scenes disguised as a Halloween decoration. The year was 2005 in Frederica, Delaware, and for the entire day, local residents drove past this busy street, noticing a scene that looked like a grisly Halloween prop. Eventually, authorities were notified, and when they arrived at the scene, they made the startling discovery that it was not a prop at all, but was the body of a 42-year-old woman who had hung herself 15 feet in the air from the tree. Everybody loves hay rides, right? The tractor pulls you while you sit in a comfortable trailer filled with hay. But for these particular customers, this trip would soon become the most horrific hayride experience of their lives. So the year was 1990, and a teenage boy was working at a haunted hayride, performing his favorite stunt like he had done many times before. He would tie a noose very loosely around his neck, say a couple lines, and then step 1 foot down, giving the appearance that he had hanged himself. But on this particular time, as the 40 people on the hayride began approaching, the driver of the tractor started becoming very concerned when the boy was just standing there and hadn't started saying his lines yet. When the tractor approached the scene, everyone was horrified to see the boy had accidentally slipped and hanged himself. Handing out candy on Halloween can be a great experience, right? Watching kids laugh and seeing the excitement on their face makes it that much better of an experience. However, one man would open his door to the final trick-or-treater in a case that remains unsolved to this day. The year was 1982, and Marvin Brandlin and his wife were handing out trick-or-treaters candy at their local home in Fort Dodge, Iowa. The night was coming to an end when suddenly they received one last knock at the door. However, the person standing on the other side was not a child dressed in a cute costume, but was a man who was wearing a pillowcase on his head with holes cut out for eyes. "Trick or treat, give me your money or I'll shoot," the perpetrator said. Now, the elderly couple laughed and thought that it was just a joke, perhaps played by their granddaughter or one of the other relatives that was over at the house that evening. However, they would soon realize that the situation was no joke, but very real threat when the man walked into the house and pulled out a gun. He ordered them to go down to the basement where the couple had been keeping a safe for many years. After a while, Marvin started to get fed up with the situation, still believing that it was just a joke, so he reached for the man and was shot in the neck. He took the pillowcase off of his head and ran out of the house, fleeing the home immediately, but Marvin would end up passing away on October 31st, 1981 on his way to the hospital. DNA tests were done of the pillowcase, however, it didn't have enough DNA to match anybody. The family believes that it's somebody close to them, maybe a friend or other family member, since they knew about the safe and they didn't really tell many people about the safe in the basement. But the case sadly still remains unsolved to this day. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you can get all my new content when it comes out. Until next time.